On this episode of Fishing Tale Films, I'm at Britford on the iconic and beautiful Hampshire Avon. It is mid-September and I am on a quest to catch some nice perch. Known for producing big roach, this lovely stretch of the Avon also is home to other specimens such as dace, chub, grayling and perch, my target for today. I've gone for a long walk up the river from the car park, heading for a section known as Kit's Island, recommended by fishery manager Stuart Wilson. A part of the river I've never fished before, but as ever I am really looking forward to it. This stretch of the river is controlled by the London Anglers Association and is very much a jewel in their crown. Well, here I am on the iconic Hampshire Avon. Wow, what a beautiful place. I'm at the stretch that's called Britford. It's run by the London Anglers Association, and the river keeper is Stuart Wilson, who's very kindly pinpointed a great peg for me to kick off the quest for a big perch. And I've come down to just past Kit's Island. It's almost I think it's the M peg. Got a nice bit of weir in front of me. Looks absolutely brilliant. Going to be fishing lobworms, I think, this morning. And see if I can tempt myself a nice big fat perch. Well, I wonder what today is going to bring. The first session of my search for a big perch. Cool, I've come to an absolutely more beautiful place than this, the Hampshire Avon. Water's so clear. I can understand why Stuart said to come down to this peg, because down by the edges there I can see lots of little fry. That's exactly what the perch look for. Perch won't resist big baits like lobworms, which I've got on at the moment. They also like prawns. And also they like eating their own. Yes, that's right. A perch will eat a perch like he'll eat any other fish. But hopefully I can get a couple on a lobworm. I've had a couple of little taps already, but that could be just by smaller fish. Put a few maggots out there as well to try and attract a few smaller fish into the area. I mean, perch like maggots as well, nice and lively, move around. They like to chase their bait, so to speak. See a little fish jump out there. I'm fishing right on a point here at Kit's Island, and where two parts of the river meet up. So that's to my left, it's flowing that way. And to my right it's flowing that way. So it's like they're sort of meeting up, like forking out into a point and then shooting off down to the main part of the old river. So that's a beautiful spot, really is absolutely perfect. And hopefully there's a few perch about. I'm hoping it ain't going to be too bright today. Cloudier the better. Don't want any rain though, but if it does, nothing I can do about it. As long as it ain't too bright, because the water's gin clear because of the chalk stream. So the Hampshire Avon is known for being clear. And if it's too bright, then the perch are just going to disappear under the cover. So they do like it because they've got big eyes, so they can take in a lot of light in dull light. If it's too bright, I suppose it'd be like shining a torch in your face. You don't really shy away from it. So the duller the better. Well, during the making of this series, The Quest, you'll see me fishing on my own and also with a few good friends of mine that also like their perch fishing as well. I think that's what fishing's all about for a lot of anglers, is sort of mixing it up a bit. Everyone likes to get out on their own sometimes and just lose themselves in the beautiful countryside or by a nice lake. And then sometimes it's nice to have a bit of company as well, and share your day together with maybe 1 or 2, 3 of your friends. There's always a little bit of mini competition that goes on between you. Try and catch a big fish, or the biggest fish. So the quest will be about me moving around the country, going around to a few different places. It's going to be quite exciting as well, because there's some of the vendors are known and have confirmed that they hold perch to over £5. Wow. Imagine meeting one of them. And one of them's tipped to produce the next British record. And the current British record stands at £6.3, or just over £6.3. I think there's two fish, 2 perch from different waters. It's amazing. But just showing you my peg today. And if you can see in the distance, round about there, that steeple, well, that's the top of Salisbury Cathedral. You can see that from miles around. And then let's have a look at my peg. Like I was saying, it's on the sort of point of two bits of the river. This bit is all weedy, very weedy. See how clear it is. It's incredible. And that runs my left to right, and then goes out into the point over there, further upstream. See my rod there, all poised for action. And then going towards the weir here, Kit's Island, a few cows there in the distance. I don't think you see them. They're munching away, grazing away, as they do. And all that noise that you can hear in the background is rushing water. There it is, just running through the weir. Absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. If there's no perch just off of that main flow, I wouldn't say they're going to be in that running water bit, but incredible. Right, let's get fishing. Let's put a bait on and see if we can catch ourselves a nice big perch. I was starting to have some doubts as to whether I was actually fishing in the swim that Stuart had advised, as I was picking up lots of weed every cast. The swim looked inviting enough, but was it the right swim? That was to be confirmed later in the day. So I was looking for a plan B, C, or even D in my quest for catching a perch. Well, I just had a little wander around the riverside and thought I'd see a few nice roach swimming about. So I thought, where there's roach, there's got to be a perch. Put a nice bit of lobworm on, and out come this perch and wallop, smashed it. It's not massive. It's a beautiful looking fish, and it just goes to show what the river perch are like. They're beautiful colours. Because the water's so clear, they almost take on a dark look about them. This chap, not quite a pound, but what a splendid fish. Absolutely immaculate. And the perch quest has started. Let's hope they get a lot bigger than that though. But it's a beginning. What a beautiful fish. Well, sometimes you have to move around to find the fish, and that's exactly what I've done. It's over there, on that point over there. I had a little walk about, and I've just seen a couple of really deep swims. It's slightly slack water, although it's pushing through a bit. And if ever there's going to be a perch or two, it may be that they're just hugging the bank. And it's a clear run through there, because I had quite a bit of weed that I was picking up. So I've just moved down, and also just behind me because there's lots of backwaters and carriers here on the Hampshire Avon, and there's one just behind me, and I just see a roach of 2 pounds swimming around. Might have even been bigger, and there was a few perch in there as well. So I'm going to set up a little float rig, because that is not moving at all. Very sort of like just a deep hole, very clear as well, just underneath a bush, and there's a few fish moving around. So I've got the best of both worlds. I've got this nice deep swim here, choppy water, nice deep hole, and I'm sure there's going to be a fish or two in there. And then just behind, literally 15 yards behind me, a nice deep hole, and I'm going to set up a float and give that a try. I might even stick a prawn on and see if I can tempt myself a nice big perch. Right, I'm all ready to go now. I've just set up a float that brings back an awful lot of memories. That float there, a little cork perch bobber, it's a float I used to use as a little boy, and miraculously I've managed to hold on to it all those years. I only bring it out every now and then, and I thought I'd use it today on the backwater just behind me. Hopefully it will catch me a perch or two, or maybe even one of them big roach I just saw there as well. So I'm going to try a prawn, feed some maggots, and let's see what happens. Should we go and give it a go? So here we are on this little backwater, literally 15 yards from the main river, and just putting on a little prawn cocktail. Well, I say prawn cocktail, it's a large prawn, and just going to plop it in, see what happens. Because the water's very clear, I'm sitting back a little bit so that the fish can't see me. Everyone's got their favourite method of catching fish, and I must admit, watching a float is my favourite. Watching it bob along and then disappear out of sight, absolutely magic. I think what I might do is just add a little bit more weight to the float, so I can dot it down a bit more. I think this is probably the first time I've ever used a prawn on a river. Normally always use maggots and lobworms. I'll probably try a bit of worm in a second. So clear I can actually still see the prawn. It's about 4.5 foot deep. We're not quite on the bottom. And then I see a shape of a fish swim past. Probably not used to seeing prawns on the rivers, not in the Hampshire Avon. Throw some maggots out. Very much stalking tactics when you're fishing like this. Making sure the fish can't see you. But at the same time trying to get a little glimpse of what's down there without disturbing them too much. Well, apart from those four perch I had in the back pool, which has now gone quiet over there, up to round about the pound mark, lovely looking perch. It's all gone a bit quiet, so I've just come back onto the main river to try this deep peg in front of me. Every time the sun comes out, it's clouding over now, which is nice. Wish it would stay like this. But every time the cloud picks up, it just lights everything up. Funny enough, as much as it's nice to sort of see the bottom and see fish swimming around, I always feel that they're going to spot you straight away. So I don't know whether it's just a confidence thing, but I'd rather see a cloudy bottom every time really than actually can see your bait. Because I've just got this thing that the fish can see you all the time, even though you try and sneak out the way. And then if you hook one, then you kind of let them know you're there. Because then you have to go sort of move up to the river to net the fish, and game's over really. They know you're there, they're not stupid. They will come back eventually, but you have to kind of sort of just rest the peg a bit. So I'll go back onto the backwater a bit later, because that tree looks a bit perchy to me. And like I say, I've had 4. I did see a bigger one around about £2. I guess the first memory I've ever had of catching a perch, which is why I've always had a bit of a fascination for them ever since, was the perch was the first fish that I ever caught. I was 2 years old, fishing with my dad in sand hills at East London, where I was born and brought up. I used to fish all the perch ponds at Wanstead. Used to catch loads of perch. Used to love catching them. And I suppose my fishing's come full circle now. Sort of had many years fishing matches and fishing on the match circuit, but now my fishing, like I say, has gone full circle, and all I'm really interested in there is targeting certain species, mainly perch, roach and crucian carp. And that's where I spend most of my sessions now, just fishing for those 3 species of fish. Not that I don't like catching all species, that is, but them three just give me that little edge when I go fishing, which is why I'm doing this series called The Quest. I'm going to various fisheries in the southwest, southeast of England and up into Wales as well. And hopefully I will catch a big perch. Or two, or even three if I'm being greedy. But the only thing you can do and try is to put yourself on waters that contain these big fish. So a bit of research, a bit of hunting around online and communicating with fisheries, which I've done. And also anglers, you know, many anglers have messaged me and have you tried this place? Have you been there? Because that's got big fish as well. Big perch. So I'm sort of fishing waters that I've never fished before, so that's going to be a challenge as well. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be brilliant going to waters that I've not fished before. There's so many waters out there, so many venues. In fact, it's almost impossible to fish all of them. For one lifetime anyway. I might have had a little nibble then. Let's get back out. It's funny, a lot of people, non-anglers, say to me, why'd you go fishing? Don't you get bored? Don't you fall asleep? Why waste your time? Far from it. You're at peace with nature. You can be when you come to venues like this. You can go on your own, disappear on the rivers, big reservoirs, and not see a soul. And it's so relaxing. I mean, this is quite a crazy world at times, and it's nice just to be able to take a break from it, and fishing gives me that opportunity to do that. And if you can catch a nice big fish in the process, or they're not necessarily big fish, it's just what it's all about. Just getting out, relaxing, chilling. I always chill when I go fishing. Give it a go. If you've always wanted to go fishing, wonder what it's all about, give it a try. Everybody knows somebody that goes fishing. Ask to tag along with them next time. I've introduced many friends to fishing, and they're still doing it. They go on their own now as well. So, brilliant. And they even take their friends fishing for the first time. Now it appears that, because I don't know the river as such, I've never been up this end of the Hampshire Avon here at Britford. I wasn't actually fishing Kit's Island, not on the spot that Stuart recommended, and Charlie Bailiff just come along and has put me right, and I was probably about 60-70 yards too far back down that way. So he's now showing me where is Kit's Island, and there's a nice deep hole that runs out on the far side of the bank by some tree roots there, and he says and the perch patrol up and down, and some good perch at that as well. So still got half of the day to go, so plenty of time, and it's clouding over. It looks like it's going to rain, so I don't really want any rain, but we certainly want the cloud, which will improve things. And also some big chub move around here and all, so you never know. I've got a nice big lobworm on, as I've been using, And them 4 perch are caught up there around the pound mark. Hopefully will be increased by the perch that live in Kitts Island, the real Kitts Island. I've just come upstream of the peg a little bit so I can get a better presentation. I've just switched to my float setup, and I can run it through, because every now and then the wind picks up when I'm there, and it's not ideal to get the line behind the float. So coming upstream gives me a bit more time to correct the float. I've started to get little knocks, probably small fish, but you never know. Well, you've got a lobworm on there, on the hook. Anything will have a go at it. The wind's gusting around all over the place. It's amazing, as soon as you get the float out, the wind picks up. Typical. At least I can get the float right where I think the fish should be. And that's right up to them snags on the far bank in that sort of bit of an hole. You can see where it just drops away. That was a bite. I just snatched it. But is there any big perch there? Are them perch there today? Got excited for a second there, the rod bent round, but I think I was just connected with a bit of weed. I'll just let it run back through, and if not, no bites, I'll check, make sure the bait, no, still a bait on there, I think, so I'm getting little taps on the float.
It was one of those days where trying different swims was needed, and I was heading back to the pool behind the main river, where I had been successful earlier in the day catching some nice perch, albeit not the big specimens I was searching for, but they were perch all the same.
But I've moved back down to this back pool where I had some perch a little bit earlier on, and within a couple of minutes just caught this perch. Nothing big, not even a pound, but just a beautiful fish. What big mouths I got. Took up a nice piece of lobworm. I'll pop this one back, and hopefully his bigger brother will be waiting for me. Well, it's about 4:30 now. Day's getting on. Probably got about another 2 hours left of today, and I reckon that could offer me hopefully my best chance of catching a really nice perch. I've had about a dozen perch, maybe a few more than that, but nothing bigger than a pound. They're all beautiful condition, absolutely bronzy colour. The river perch are just amazing colours, but nothing massive. So I'm not giving up just yet. So I've probably got another 2.5 hours into sort of dusk, and hopefully this backwater here will produce me the fish I'm looking for. to the end of my trip down here to the Hampshire Avon. It's been a fantastic day. Really enjoyed it. Had nothing majorly big. I've had about 17 perch up to around about the pound mark, but they're in absolutely brilliant condition, full of beautiful colours, you know, all the stripes, the red fins, that bronzy tint that the river perch always seem to have. It's been good, it's been a good start. But the main action, I guess, for me will be when it really starts to get cold, and probably from mid-October onwards the quest will really start to get a bit manic. I hope so.
I returned to Britford a few days later, travelling very light to stalk the river in the hope of locating some perch. On a walk back to the car park, I spotted a shoal of specimen perch lurking under some cover chasing minnows. I could not resist, and on float tackle slowly lowered a lobworm in their path to see what would happen. To my surprise, it was instantly gobbled up by a specimen perch, followed by another before the main shoal disappeared. It was great to see these splendid looking perch in their wonderful golden flanks, a sight for sore eyes. If you've enjoyed this episode of Fishing Tale Films, please give it a like, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel, because your support is very much appreciated. Thank you.